Okay, right, thanks very much for speaking to DJM today, really appreciate it. Now, first of all, I really want to touch on where we are right now. A lot of the people out there that will see this won't appreciate what this place is,
of course,
and how iconic the Glasgow Barrowland is, especially the locals. Can you try and portray what it means to you to play here tonight?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this could take up a lot of time, but I'll try and keep it short. For me, when I was a kid, you know, and you know, from about 12 years old, when I first started really sort of taking a massive interest in music and instruments and stuff like that, I used to come to the Barrowlands, you know, as a young music fan from school, and I used to watch, and I think the first band I ever seen in here was Gun.
Yeah.
And so that was amazing. So to come back here, I mean, you know, and guys like me, you know, as a musician, as a Glaswegian, the Barrowlands is just like an iconic cult venue. It's one of the best in the world, and if you're a musician from here, especially, this is where you want to play. You know, this is the venue you want to come to, and it's just fantastic to actually get to finally come here and play, and also to be special guests of one of my favourite bands since I was a kid in school. I mean, Juliana GC was one of the first guys that I was starting to learn guitar from, just listening to those early albums.
Right.
It was amazing, you know, and this is fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, for me, I mean, it's really special as well, because I mean, there always was two for me. You had the Apollo, and obviously here, but we can't do the Apollo now. You know,
do you know what? I was just so unfortunate. I mean, and it feels a bit funny saying it now because I'm nearly 40, but I was too young. I just missed the Apollo. I saw it as it just came down, but I never managed to see anything, and I'm so jealous of all my mates who've been there and seen bands like Thin Lizzy and all that, AC/DC and all that.
The best thing I've seen Gallagher. And,
of course. I mean, I really wish I'd done that. I wish I'd seen that one, but
for you, this is it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And then we go from here to next year, and you're going to hit an even bigger venue in Glasgow.
Yeah, we are.
You know, obviously we're supporting Thunder now. Is it another pinch me moment?
Absolutely.
I obviously know you're a fan.
Yeah. I mean, it's no secret about my musical influences. I've done so many interviews over the last few years and things like that. So people who know the band and know me, they know what I like, and Thunder were always a massive influence on me. You know, particularly because I'm such a free fan. Yeah. And Paul Rodgers is one of my favourite singers, and Danny Bowes was, you know, one of those guys as well. And I spoke to Danny Bowes at the Classic Rock Awards a couple of weeks back, and we were chatting about Paul Rodgers, you know, and I had a bit of a sore throat, and we were talking about losing our voices, and I sort of said, well, you know, I blame it on you. I blame it on you and Paul Rodgers. I've been trying to sing like you for years. He says, well, I blame it on Paul Rodgers. I've been trying to sing like him. So to get to do that, to get to go on tour with Thunder and just to hang out with those guys and listen to them playing from the side of the stage is just, it's a massive honour, a massive privilege, and we can't wait.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, they're one of my favourites as well. I mean, I'm back in the day. I was a massive fan. I followed them everywhere, around the whole country. We've done all this stuff, and I was actually here. I think I go back to before Thunder, you know. I go back to the old days when they were there.
Was it Terraplane? Terraplane. That's right. Yeah.
I even remember one of Noel Edmonds' crappy Saturday morning shows, which I keep reminding them about everything I see. How did the Thunder tour come about? Did you have a lot to do with that?
Well, actually, no, we didn't. To be honest, we were on tour. We did 36 nights on tour with John Mayall and the Bluesbreakers last year, and that was another great thing. That was another box tick for me as well. John Mayall, you know, listening to blues, and that's how we got introduced to Clapton and Peter Green. We were both, you know, two of my favourite players. So it just happened to be that someone who does your PR in London also does the same for Thunder, and she was at the London show at the John Mayall gig, and she got chatting to us, got chatting to the management and all that kind of thing, and said, you guys would go great with a band called Thunder.
You went, really?
like that, who's that again, you know? So it kind of came around like that, and then they just kind of worked their magic and sort of put it to the guys in Thunder, you know, because Danny manages the band and stuff like that. So they put it to them about this band King as a possibility of doing something in the future together, you know, and they heard the band and absolutely loved it, and I've since been had personal compliments from Mr. Bose saying really like the band, and that's a great compliment, you know. So then it came about like that, and then this tour came up, and we got told about it, and we were just jumping for joy, you know. We've been itching to tell people about it for ages, but we were told like, no, you can't announce it yet, you know. But we'd known about it for a while, you know. So I'm not great at keeping those kind of secrets either, you know. Like, shut up, I'm gonna be quiet.
No, it will be a great one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'll be really good for you because you'll get a different audience.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
You know, who maybe will not hear you.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I mean that's, you know, for us as a band, you know, a relatively new band, you know, using the word young is a bit loose, but a relatively new band on that kind of scene. We're just breaking into the kind of rock scene from the blues world, which is significantly smaller. For us, that's the plan, you know. I mean, that's the idea for us, is to try and get on board with these different tours and things like that to reach these audiences, because we're forever trying to expand our audience, you know, and our demographic as well. So to do things like that is just a great investment for us. It's well worth doing. So and hopefully that, you know, once we step onto the stage, the music will talk for itself, and we'll win ourselves some new fans. So that's the plan.
And just to let you know, I came through the crowds tonight. It might be quite rowdy tonight.
No doubt, it's Glasgow.
Very drunk people out there tonight.
It's a Mad Friday, yeah. So they've all been out all day.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit crazy. Now, with you supporting Gun, obviously, and then Thunder, and I did notice for the last album, it's, you know, there's a slight change, there's a tangible change towards the rock. Still heavily blues, obviously. Is this a kind of plan, or you?
Do you know what? I mean, to be honest, I mean, I know that for some people maybe looking in on it will sort of thinking it would be obvious to think, oh yeah, they've deliberately changed their style. But I mean, the honest truth of it is that it's just become more natural to us.
Yeah.
The more I write songs, the more all my early influences are starting to show. So that's what comes out. I mean, we kind of led ourselves into that direction, and all of a sudden kind of looked up from doing all the graft and kind of went like, oh, wait a minute, this is where we are. All right then, let's do what we can with it. And we kind of, we found ourselves kind of moving out of that kind of, you know, kind of barroom blues kind of scene, and especially in terms of the music. And arriving at this kind of classic rock place where, well, we're all very happy, because this is our own back. We're all lovers of blues and always will be, but this is our background as well from everyone, you know what I mean? So it's amazing. So.
Yeah, good. Now, talking of reaching the light, it's been out for some time now. How do you feel the response has been, especially off the back of how, I'm going to say, massive, you know, your previous album was Standing Shadows?
Yeah, well, I mean, Reaching for the Light was released, I think, you know, early March, I think, this year. So I mean, you know, I would say it was relatively young and still, you know, at this point. But I suppose when you're moving into a different kind of market and kind of rock stages, things sort of have to come around a bit faster. You got to keep producing it a little bit faster than that. You can get away with a couple of years in the blues scene between albums, but you talk about the relative success of Standing in the Shadows, the second album, which did really well, and you know, in its field. You know, we scooped a load of awards at the blues ceremony and all that. It was amazing to get that. So we kind of made our own for our own back a wee bit, you know, in terms of what the next album was going to be. So I had to give a little bit of a team talk to the boys. We had a bit of a chat, sat down and said, right, you know, and I speak for myself always as well. I have the highest critical standards of myself before everybody else. But the point was we need an album that's so much better than Standing in the Shadows. We can't have an album that's just the same, because we just that would probably just keep us here and we'd never move anywhere. So we needed to push the boundary a bit and then get it in terms of, and it's always just in terms of song quality. I think it's always about songs. You know, you need to write songs that are going to work and going to be good. So we all sat down and had a chat about it, and everyone agreed to sort of say, right, yeah, let's pull it out here, you know. And then I put a lot of pressure on myself because I'm a songwriter, so it's like, right, okay, hang on a minute, I'm telling these lads one thing, I'm going like, a minute, what if I shot with these songs and go like, oh, what kind of nonsense is that? But luckily it seemed to work out alright. But we're still learning, you know, and I'm not anywhere near peaking, you know, in terms of songwriting, so I just feel I'm getting better all the time at it. So hopefully the fourth album will be even better again. So I'm working on it at the moment. So
yeah. Now it's funny you're talking about your songwriting coming on. I mean, in Reaching for the Light, my favourite track is Wondershare, which you wrote a long time ago. How did you feel it was right to come out now in this album and put it?
Do you know it's weird? I mean it's not necessarily the truth about that. I mean, I had the basic chords of that song, and I wrote the first verse when I was a teenager. But it was just one of those things. I mean, and I often do this with songwriting. I write a little bit, and then I go away from it. I put it down. I don't finish a song. I don't start a song and then finish it. Yeah. I'll always do that. I always kind of have that kind of method of just like, I'll have a wee idea, I'll do something, and then I'll just put it here. I'll go and do something, I'll let it percolate. And I work on other things like that, other songs like that as well, you know. But this, I don't know, I was just when I was a kid and I just wrote these lyrics and had these chords. But I thought no more about it. And I think, to be honest, once, that was just sort of maybe at the point when I was just delving into, getting into playing in good old blues bands. Yeah. So I thought there was no need for a song like that anymore. You know, I'm playing blues now, you know. It just became about, you know, guitar stuff and just playing like shuffle music and stuff like that, enjoying yourself. But I don't know, for some reason it just came to me on this, that thought, do you know what, I'm going to dig that up again, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do something with that, I can hear something now that I can do something with that song, and then it came out the way it did. So, and I think that's how it was always meant to come out. Yeah. The timing was never right, you know, and it came at the right time, you know. So.
Exactly, that's the thing, I mean, as I say, I think it's brilliant, they're absolutely scorching.
It's one of my favourites, I've got to admit, it's
excellent. And just talk about it. I mean, it's ever more relevant, especially if you say you wrote the first lyrics to it that length of time ago. Yeah. And the song's just obviously so relevant now because I mean, it just lives at such a pace.
Of course, yeah.
Constantly plugged into, you know,
absolutely,
everything. Yeah. And is that your way of just now? Obviously, you've added the lyrics to it now. I mean, is that just your way of just saying, slow down, people, just.
I just think it's one of those things. I think as a songwriter, I think everybody's, you know, kind of the same. It's writing music and writing lyrics is kind of therapy. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of like you get out what's inside, you know, and it's a good release. It's a good escape, you know, from things like that. And I definitely think, I mean, the content, how I tried to keep it similar to the original lyrics and carry on with that. It still means something today because I think pressure on anyone, you know, from work stuff, life and whatever else. I mean, whether you're a teenager or an adult, I think it's all relative to who you are and where you are in your life. So it was always going to work. It was always going to be natural to write lyrics that were going to fit. And definitely, I mean, you know, over the last couple of years with how things have gone for this band, you do start to realise what a massive amount of work you've got on all the time, and I mean, people look at the band on the stage for an hour and a half and they think you magically show up there and you just come on, you just get let out a cupboard and you walk on, hey, here we go. But there's a massive amount of work that gets done to lead you there, you know, and I mean, you're doing that, you know, 200 nights a year. There's a lot of work involved, so it can get a bit pressure, but it's how you take it, you know, it's how you live with it and how you do it.
And more important how you deal with it when you're away.
Of course,
Now, another track on the album is You Stop the Rain, which obviously was written about your brother. I don't want to delve into obviously the background of what it was about, but can I more touch on the relationship? Anyone that's seen the two of you on stage together will know the chemistry there is absolutely outstanding. It really is good. So I don't want to go all wussy and teary-eyed, so I'm going to go for some gossip. But it can't have been like that all the time.
Oh, goodness
what have you got on each other?
Goodness no, man, it's pretty public as well. We used to fight in public. I know, I mean, we started playing together 20 years ago, you know, but obviously we've been brothers for another 20 years. And, yeah, I mean, you know, Stevie and I are extremely similar in a lot of senses, but exact polar opposites in some things as well. So there's a bit of a chalk and cheese thing, and there's a kind of love-hate thing going on all the time. But we contrast well, and we also clash. I mean, and that's just people and family and everything, you know. And we went through years of battling one another over this, that, and the next thing, and we did scraps outside the van, and you know, we would shout, scream at one another. But over the years, you know, you grow up, you get a bit older, and you learn how to go home with each other, and you learn what buttons not to push with each other, and all that kind of stuff, and then you eventually find a great rapport. But the good thing is that no matter what came out of all that, back then was the chemistry and the music that we're playing on stage was always there from the start. It always was. And that's something that, like you said, you know, you can't buy. You know, you just can't get that anywhere. You know, you've got that bond between you. I know what he's going to do before he does it. He knows that I know, and vice versa. You know, and we don't even need to. We don't need to look at each other. You know, I mean, I'm talking about, you know, down to physicality, you know, like there's a slight movement of any kind of shoulder or a tilt of the head or something, or a move forward or backwards, and I know and he knows what that means on stage, and that's the kind of thing that comes with that, you know, and I think that's extremely difficult to find when it's not siblings. But I mean, I must admit, I mean, I've kind of got that with these guys, you know, like Lindsay, the bass player, is like, you know, he's like one of my brothers, you know, he's been with us for a long time. He was one of the original bass players in the Nimmo Brothers as well, so back in the day, years ago, so we've been friends ever since, and him and I have that kind of understanding as well of things. So it's nice when you get that kind of chemistry with a band, because it's very, very necessary. And it's necessary that everyone gets on as well. Spend the amount of time you spend on the road, you've got to have your best mates with you, you know?
Yes, definitely. I was talking to Stevie earlier, and I was kind of asking, he kind of answered it. I was going to say, what is your kind of Christmas thing for the Nemo? Is it separate, or do you just all get together?
Well, do you know what? It changes from year to year. You know, it depends on where we all are, what we're doing, and things like that. You know, and but like, you know, luckily enough, he's here this Christmas. You know, and the family's here and stuff like that as well. So we'll all get to spend time together, and that's nice, because it's not often that happens. You know. Because you know, I'm always away somewhere, and he's always doing something, or, you know. So it's just, it'll be nice this time around to know that tonight's the last show of the year for us. So it's a real relief to know that there's nothing else to think about at the moment. You know what I mean? Nothing urgent at the moment anyway. That I can relax and enjoy my Christmas. Yeah. So it'll be nice. It'll be nice to see the wee kiddies and that as well, and all the family as well, and everyone else. It'll be lovely.
Yeah, good. this one's going to get you. We have a mutual friend who's given me some questions.
All right, then.
So you'll know who it is, I think, from as soon as I asked them. The first one was, it's been said at certain gigs over the years there have been chants of knees from the crowd. Where does that come from?
It's got to be Tom. Good old Tommy. I can't remember those days, man. It just got ridiculous. Yeah, you know, I've known obviously Tommy for a long time, and I have dabbled in a band with him for a wee while and stuff like that. He was asking at the time when he was writing great songs, and an amazing voice. I mean, that's still one of my favourite singers, Tommy. He's got an amazing talent for singing and songwriting, and he was wanting to put a band together, but he had kind of no experience of that kind of stuff back then, you know. So I said I'd help him. Yeah. And I was, you know, finding some players for him. I thought, yeah, I'll do this for a bit. Oh yeah, this is great. This is fun, you know. I like the songs. But all the lads from the leisure centre days, you know, just stick around and just shout, it's like you're trying to play any serious song, you know, you got this rowdy lot with pints swelling everywhere, shouting knees at you. It's like, alright then, all professionalism's out the window after that, you know.
Right, the next one, I have no idea about this, but I'm going to have to be really specific.
Right, okay.
He says, you have said in the past, it's all about the passion in your horn and the upstroke. Is it true?
Oh, that's got to be a drummer, we know. Is that Andy?
No, it's still, this is the Tal.
Is it still Tal? Yeah, I know they're not like that. Well, I mean, I think that quote came out a few years back, and I probably can't even remember what I was talking about. We were probably having a bit of a laugh. But I think there used to be someone who we used to know used to talk about the upstroke of guitar playing, and he was a harmonica player. I won't mention his name, but we know who it is. But the upstroke, he kept talking about your upstroke and your downstroke, sort of music, and it just was funny to hear. So it became a bit of an in joke. But I won't mention who he is. Fraser Spears.
Right, well, I can see you're obviously getting shouted on here. I have to say thanks very much.
Thank you, man.
Just enjoyed tonight. I know you'll be up there and you have a good time.
I'd just like to say a massive thanks to Dunn as well for giving us a great opportunity, man. Thank you, guys.